Alright, good afternoon, everybody. What's up, team? Anybody out there? Cool, cool, cool. Good seeing everybody. Awesome, Penny. Great job on that trade. I'll have to talk about the trade till after I do the disclosure. So let's do the disclosure. I'm just going to do a quicker afternoon meeting today because we have the conversations with a pro trader with Greta at 4:30 today. I actually don't know who the guest is, but you know, I've been enjoying tuning over to those on Wednesday. It gives me a little bit of a break also on some Wednesdays, and I hope you guys have been enjoying that series as well. I kind of helped put the idea itself together. So far so good. And if anybody wants to be a guest on that Conversations with a Pro Trader, there's a couple of you that I'm eyeing in particular, but seriously, anybody, just shoot me an email and let me know of your interest. She's very open-minded as far as the guests go. At a certain point, I think she wants to bring in even like some people who are very entry-level, just to get the perspective of someone who is, you know, brand new, entry-level, getting started. But anybody that wants to be involved with that, shoot me an email. So let's jump in. I'm an associate member of T3 Trading Group, which is an SEC registered broker-dealer and member of FINRA SIPC. All of my trades are placed through T3 Trading Group. You should carefully consider whether trading is suitable for you in light of your own financial condition. Here is the position disclosure. I am back in UPRO short. Actually, no, I got back in yesterday. I'm heavier in UPRO short. I think I only kept a little bit last night. And I got into Tesla short today, which was not an easy trade by any means. After hours here, we got Cisco getting hit pretty hard. Though it's off lows, it's still down 9% or so here after hours. Cisco Systems Q1 adjusted EPS beats by, looks like 8 cents. And sales beat by a very small margin. So I assume it's something in the guidance there that's hitting it down. The other one is PanW. PanW getting hit. Great research from Penny, looking at Palo Alto to potentially get hit on their report. Let's take a look at those numbers. Q1 beat by a solid margin. Sales also beat. I'm assuming it's the guidance that's hitting it down, which would make sense also based on kind of what you were telling me. They see second quarter EPS ahead of expectations, all right, and the guidance looks like it's in line for the second quarter. What about fiscal year 24? Fiscal year 24 looks like EPS is also a beat on estimate, and revenue for the year also looks like in line. So what am I missing? What am I missing here, Penny, on this report that is hitting it down? On the surface of it, those numbers don't look too bad to me, but stock is off 10%. And also, Penny, since we're giving you a shout out, maybe you want to let us know where people who might be interested can find you and your research company if they want to pay to be involved with the things that you're doing. They missed on billings and guided billings lower. Palo Alto Networks. Gotcha. So that's what is hitting things down. It's assuming you're looking for new customers. You might not be, for all I know. I'd leave her to say it instead of me. All right, well, while I'm waiting to see if you say anything, I can jump in on the afternoon meeting. So we are, all right, everybody on the institutional side. Well, there's some people that are on the institutional side that are in the VTF, just so you know. We have some institutional people that are here, some of whom don't communicate as much as I would like, but they're lurking in the shadows and paying attention to the information that we're getting out into the VTF. Penny at markadvisors.com. Cool. All right, so I'm just gonna jump in. No problem. Awesome stuff. Keep up the great work and the support for the team. We appreciate it. So we just got hit after hours here on Cisco and PanW, so we just dropped 70 cents. But even with that drop, we're still positive on the day. SPY's up 0.06%. The Qs, I think, managed to still close positive today, but now they're down. So we're down like $1 or so from I think where we closed. Where's my chart? Yeah, we're down a little bit over $1 in the Qs. So the Qs were also positive today, but they're in the negative after hours with the effect of Cisco and Palo Alto Networks. The IWM is flat on the day, also trading down 30 cents. So I think all three indices closed in the positive today, but we're down across the board after hours. That's pushing the Qs into the negative territory and the Russell into the negative territory. The trading session today, which might make things tricky tomorrow, because I know Pat and some people were looking for a gap up tomorrow. I didn't actually think it was going to happen. Dimitri. So we were looking to the short side of the market into the gap up this morning, being that it was a additional gap up after yesterday's extension. The market pre-market was still at that $10 plus worth of extension here. And as of the close now, the ADMA on the SPYs is at 440.50, and we're at 449. So even right now, we've got $8.50 worth of extension, and that's with us being a few dollars off of our high of the day. So, again, the game plan here was we got the gap up, and we were looking for potential RDR trades today, which were probably a little bit tricky because we didn't get follow through, or the better trades pretty often were actually to the short side versus the pre-market high. So the big event of the day today was the PPI that hit at 8:30 Eastern Time. And you can see that there was a very quick uptick on that then sold off. And I'm going to scroll up here because I know Pat was kind enough to repost those PPI numbers for me right before the market closed. So I got it right here. The month-over-month number was negative 0.5%. Estimate was 0.1%. That's a really big miss. US PPI year over year, 1.3% with estimate of 1.9%. Again, pretty solid miss. Core PPI month over month at 0, estimates of 0.3. Those are big misses. And core PPI year over year, 2.4 versus estimates at 2.7. Retail sales came out at the same time and actually still beat by a little bit, though posting a negative number. Retail sales down 0.1%. Estimate was negative 0.3%. Core retail sales was actually also a little bit of a beat and was in a positive number. So the PPI was a really big miss. And initially on that, you can see there's a very quick uptick. So the market tried to very briefly interpret that positive, because if PPI is coming in light, if CPI is coming in light, that is indicating that inflation is continuing to slow down at a rate that is faster than expected. But what I've been saying for the last week or so is I think that the regime here of this market is beginning to adjust, where bad news can be bad news again and good news can be good news. It's definitely an adjustment. There's only so long that I think you can be in an environment where bad news is good news and good news is bad news, and that's the environment that we've been in. And we all understand why. Bad economic data has generally been viewed as positive for the market because it means that the Fed is going to stop increasing rates and potentially lower rates at some point in the future. But I think that now that we've hit a point here where I think that, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I think that we're done raising. I think the Fed is totally done. I think the market has actually now finally sniffed out that the Fed is totally done raising. So now that we've hit that point where the Fed's not going to be raising anymore unless you get some crazy numbers starting to hit on the upside, which we're not seeing, I think that can actually bring us back into an environment where bad news is bad again. So with this PPI coming in light, that hit the market down. Yeah, we still might see with the jobs number, like if a jobs number comes in a little bit lighter than expectations, that the market could move higher on that. But I think for the most part, we're going to start seeing that bad news becomes bad again here. And the PPI coming in at such a big miss, people begin to worry, not like, oh, this is a good thing because it means inflation is slowing down, but wow, how did PPI miss by so much? Does this mean that we are finally actually approaching an economic slowdown? So the market very quickly tailed up at 8:30 just to sell off. And as we were doing the morning meeting, the game plans that we were looking for, again, you could look for the RDR short trade, basically shorting back through yesterday's high, or I felt that the better trade was to just be short versus the pre-market high. I did not think that this pre-market high should be able to be breached, given the push-through failure on PPI combined with the degree of extension that we have on the daily chart. So I thought that was a kind of a comfortable thing that you could be short versus. And if we push through that 8:30 high, then I mean, this market has just been so strong that it could happen, and it did happen for the IWM. The IWM was not my preferred short today. I preferred to focus on big tech and the Qs on the short side. But if we were able to really break through that 8:30 high, it's a sign of just massive continued momentum in the market, and you just get out of the way and you readjust. So while that short versus the pre-market high was never breached, we never really were able to get any follow-through either all day. This market has just been so incredibly resilient. There's such a underlying bid in this market, and we know that there's an underlying bid. I mean that the underlying bid in the market is what created the time correction that lasted for 5 days when the market was last $10 extended back here on November 3rd. We basically time corrected for 5 days, a little bit of a sell-off on that Thursday, instead of having any real price correction. The IWM itself obviously price corrected the SPYs and the Qs didn't. And we know why that is. We know the CTAs are sitting there having to buy like $7 billion worth of SPX per day. We know that the buyback machine is back on. Apple, which was so stubbornly strong for most of today's trading session, it's November here. Apple's back to buying back their stock. They're past their blackout window post the earnings report, and they just have a massive amount of stock to buy back. So it's like we're looking at this market as being so extended, looking at the push through failure in the PPI and saying, hey, it makes logical sense here to be coming in on the other side of the market and getting short. And for myself, as of yesterday's close, I got net short for the first time since July when we peaked. And today I got even more net short. Today was actually one of those awesome days that doesn't happen too often. I have 3 shorts on and 11 longs, and I'm positive in every single name I'm in, my shorts and my longs, with the exception of my SoFi swing. SoFi swing is my only negative name today, and it's down by like a little bit. So you love when that happens, when your shorts can make you money and your longs can make you money at the same time. That always feels really good. But yeah, the short, I think, was the right idea. We just couldn't get any follow through on it. And if we could gap up again tomorrow or get above today's high tomorrow, then you'd be looking at like a big day 3, and I would argue things would be getting ridiculous, and I would be heavily leaning into the short side. I don't think we're going to get it. I don't think that the market's going to make it that easy for people. It was very hard to stick with your shorts all day today. I know, especially some of the names that we wanted to look at to short, like an Apple or like a Tesla, were very hard. Nvidia was easier if you were quick on the execution off the open, but they made it really hard. I know a bunch of us, myself included, and I'm ending up keeping some Tesla short. We're looking at Tesla short during the day today. I remember Pat called out a couple trades early on and caught this down move, but then those new highs came in, and this thing just kind of continued to push. Amazon, on the other hand, was very weak. Nvidia sold off right off the open. I think the Nvidia was the best one out there if you're able to get stock, but they didn't really make any of that stuff easy. And then again, the follow-through on the downside was very poor. We just didn't get really the intraday follow-through, so they made it difficult for you to kind of have and keep shorts throughout the trading session / keep them overnight. And that's probably why you know, will maybe gap down tomorrow, and it'll be difficult for a new entry for short sellers. Again, especially given that Cisco and Palo Alto are trading down after hours, it should help to move the market down by a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. Again, you know, my focus today, as I mentioned in the morning meeting, was really entirely on the short side, and it was entirely market focused. There were a couple individual names that had news that I was looking at. I thought Siri could squeeze today off the Warren Buffett purchase and the 27% short float. That idea was wrong. I got stopped out on it. I lost a few dollars. I thought that Chegg could maybe go on its buyback. That one actually worked great, but I wasn't involved in it. I didn't pay up that much to be able to get stock. And then outside of that, again, for me, it was just entirely trying to focus on the market. I never went after Apple because I felt it was too strong in the beginning of the day. That was one of the ones that we highlighted. I didn't get the NVIDIA trade on the short side, though I think a few of you guys focused on it. I did get Tesla, but Tesla was not easy. I got stopped out of Tesla once or twice before I was actually able to capture the move. And I remember it made kind of this little bit of a lower high double top style formation here at 1125 that gave me the conviction to actually be able to catch a little bit of a down move. And even this didn't close as poorly as I would have liked. I would have liked a 240 close or lower, but I figured I'm up enough P&L in it that I could keep a small to medium sized position to the short side in Tesla to see if I could get some follow through, again, just given how extended we are on the daily chart for pretty much everything. So I am net short by a decent margin right now. I think almost 2 to 1. But there's a difference in my shorts versus my longs just in terms of time frame. My shorts are certainly quicker, going to be quicker trades here, and they're more based on the daily chart extension than anything else. So that is all I've got. And you know, like I said earlier, I don't think I'm going to do like a Q&A for today's afternoon meeting because I want to give everybody the opportunity to switch over to conversations with a pro trader featuring Greta Wall and whoever her guest is that she's been doing on most Wednesdays through LinkedIn. So really going to recommend that you guys go over there and check it out. And I will see everyone tomorrow morning, and we'll take it from there. So, cool. The guest is Christian Tharp. Nice. All right. Well, have a great night, everybody. I got tickets to see Bob Dylan tonight, which should be cool. Never seen him live. Kind of a legend, so I'm excited for that. And I'll see everybody then. He's playing in Brooklyn, the King's Theater, I think it's called. Have a great night, everybody.